49er fans, how we feeling? How we doing? Happy Thursday. The 49ers made some news today. Hey, it's the off season, and every once in a while, there is a little bit of news, and we're going to talk a little bit about it tonight. So, as you know, if you haven't been living under a rock today, the 49ers have signed their final rookie to his rookie contract, their first round pick, their biggest rookie of the year so far this year. Ricky Pearsall signed his 4-year rookie contract with the San Francisco 49ers today. So that was the big news. We've been waiting. There was a few things left to do this offseason, right? Getting the whole rookie class signed up. And that was the first thing that pretty much went down today is, Ricky Pearsall signed his contract. And now all the rookies are under contract for the San Francisco 49ers. So let's talk about that. And what else can we expect, right? It's the off season. We don't expect too much news. There's really one thing left. There's really one thing left to do this offseason is sign Brandon Aiyuk. So we'll talk about that. But how's everybody feeling? Nathan Banks says, "What's up, Raj? Happy Thursday." Deb says, "Hey, Raj." Showboat says, "What up, Doc? What up, Showboat?" So yeah, Ricky Pearsall, rookie contract in the books, officially official. Multiple reports have said this, and let's pull up the actual details of the contract. So we know exactly the specifics. Some people may not know the actual specifics. They know that he's signed, but let's pull up all the details of this contract. It's kind of crazy. He's a rookie, right? 31st pick in the draft. He's making more money than franchise quarterback Brock Purdy. But things will change next year. But it is kind of crazy when you think about it that Ricky Pearsall hasn't played it down in the NFL, and he's making more money than Brock Purdy. That's kind of crazy. It's crazy, right? But I feel next year Brock Purdy will get his big time contract as long as he tears it up this season. Peter Parker, what's good, my man? How are you feeling? So, what do you guys think? Ricky Pearsall signing his contract. You guys hyped up? You guys excited for Ricky Pearsall? So, I can't wait to see this guy. I've heard nothing but good things about him. That he's a hard worker. He looks like a really fluid route runner out there. But again, when training camp comes and the pads come on, we'll really get to see what he's all about in preseason. So, Ricky Pearsall, as you know, signed his contract today. It was a 4-year deal because it's a rookie deal, 4-year deal worth $12.5 million, and that's fully guaranteed. So, according to overthecap.com, Pearsall's 4-year contract is $12.54 million. This also includes a signing bonus of approximately $5.94 million and a 2024 salary cap hit of about $2.28 million. So, I mean, it's not that big of a cap hit, but, $2.28 million against the cap. He gets a $5.94 million signing bonus just to sign the contract. You get $5.94 million. Must be nice. And again, the overall contract is 4 years, $12.54 million. He's a 6'1" receiver. He clocks in at 189 pounds, registered 65 receptions last season for Florida and 965 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. He had 12 games last year. He was a senior for the Florida Gators last year. Throughout his college career, he has 159 passes caught for 2,420 yards with 14 touchdowns over 5 seasons. You got to remember, he played at Arizona State, played same college as Brandon Aiyuk, his teammate, and then he transferred over to Florida. So, good stuff. Again, we've heard nothing but good things about Ricky Pearsall, but we got to see how he does in the league. Oh man, we'll see. My man Cosmo says it's chump change. I don't know about chump change. Let's take a look at some of your questions. It's always good to talk to the chat. Debtopia says Slick Rick is getting the bag. That's a pretty good bag for rookie. I mean, $12 million is no slouch money, right? But in the Bay, $12 million is more like maybe like $8 million, $7 million. That tax money is no joke. Peter Parker says I'm good, almost out of my off-season hibernation. Yeah, same here. Off-season's kind of nice. Take a little easy, and then once the season comes, it's like boom, you're back on the grind. What's good? S Flood Cosmo says Purdy will not only make more than Pearsall, but likely the whole team. Yeah, if you looked at Trevor Lawrence's contract, who is now tied for the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, Purdy should make more money than Trevor Lawrence next year. It's going to be insane. He's going to make so much money. Brock Purdy. I think he should at least make 51, be a little bit higher than Trevor Lawrence. That's going to be interesting. Niner Gang says, can the season just start already? Can't wait. Should be a good one. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Cosmo says, Raj the man. Real Teal, let's effing go, Raj. Love you, man. Hope you are well. Thank you. Thank you, Teal. I'm doing good. Love you too. Just busy working, grinding my life away. I work a lot. But you know what? To live in California, you gotta work a lot. So hit that like button and good stuff. Let me put some Ricky Pearsall clips on there since we're talking about Ricky Pearsall, and then we'll talk about a few other things as we are here. So this, of course, the big catch Ricky Pearsall made in his collegiate career. Like this is the highlight that he's known for, like over the middle, one-handed OBJ type catch. This is probably everybody's favorite catch of Ricky Pearsall. Like you, if you look for the Ricky Pearsall highlight, this is the one you're gonna see. I posted a couple clips on my social media pages on RSF 49ers on Instagram and Twitter and stuff. I think I posted one with like a bunch of clips, but obviously that is like the go-to highlight. If you need to show a person one highlight of Ricky Pearsall, it's probably the one you're gonna see, right? Here is him at OTAs and stuff. You know, he was there. He was putting in the work, and he showed off his fancy footwork. He looks slick, right? No pun intended. Maybe a little. But yeah, this is him at OTAs and stuff. Again, he was in there working his butt off. Everything I heard about him this offseason so far has been fantastic. Like everybody's raving about him, hard worker. He's out there just looking like he's, trying to make the team as good as he can. And again, we have a issue with wide receiver. We have Brandon Aiyuk has not signed his contract. It's kind of at this standstill. We all know the team offered him money. He wants more than they're offering, and he says they don't want him. They don't want him anymore. They don't want him for the price that he is asking for, right? That's what all the reports are saying. Brandon Ayuk wants 30 mil. The Niners are offering 26, and because he's not getting 30 mil from the Niners, Brandon Ayuk is telling us they don't want me if they don't want me for my price. So that's kind of where we're at. But right now, Ricky Pearsall, he has an opportunity to make an impact and showcase himself as this Brandon Ayuk situation plays out. I'm sure they'll figure it out. But as we know, the 49ers have said, hey, look, we're okay. We're okay with paying Brandon Ayuk on his fifth year option and not extending him. Because this year he's going to get that money from his fifth year option regardless if they make an extension or not. So the Niners have the leverage right now. It is what it is. But, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. So my man Kyle says Kyle just drafted him because he reminds himself of himself while he was at Texas. I mean, a lot of people said that maybe he does remind Kyle of himself. Like he's like a young Kyle Shanahan, right? That's what Ricky Pearsall looks like. Maybe it's the receiver Kyle Shanahan thought he was or hoped to be coming out of Texas. Maybe it is. Who knows? Maybe if that's the case, it is what it is. But I think he's already on Kyle's good side, right? So that's a good thing that we have this guy that's on Kyle's good side. We don't want him to be on the doghouse, right? We don't want any receiver to be in the doghouse at this point. So Rob D says, I still think that's why he's wearing that blue non-contact jersey. That sore excuse was he wasn't going to risk injury. I mean, a lot of people have said that. I think the reason Kyle Shanahan says why he was wearing the blue non-contact jersey in minicamp and stuff was because he was sore from training camp and OTAs and stuff. Sorry, not training camp. He was sore from OTAs going into minicamp. Some people says because he didn't sign his contract, Kyle didn't want him to get hurt before he signed the contract. So you can make with what you want with that. I feel like Kyle was telling us the truth that hey, he was sore, don't want to risk anything. But you're right, he wasn't signed, so Kyle was in a way trying to protect him because he hadn't signed yet, and if he gets out there and he gets injured before he signs the contract, that sucks for everybody. So maybe you're right in a sense. In a weird way about maybe Kyle was trying to protect him, and it was just his explanation of it. But maybe if you dig deep down to the root of it, maybe it was because he didn't sign his contract yet. So, well, so again, but at the end of the day, the Niners have signed Ricky Pearsall 4-year deal, and hey, now it's time for him to go out there and earn his keep. He's got to go out there and prove himself. You can't just because he signed his contract doesn't mean he's guaranteed to be a starter, guaranteed to be a superstar. Could be a bust. He could be a great player. We don't know yet. We haven't seen him play in the NFL. We haven't seen him play in the 49ers offense. We haven't seen him play with Brock Purdy, although we know there's a good history. They're both Arizona boys. They both talked a lot during the offseason about each other. So I'm excited to see Brock Purdy and Ricky Pearsall, but we haven't actually seen them with our own eyes in a game, training camp, preseason, et cetera, et cetera. So we will soon. As we know, uh, my hair looks great. Yeah, I'm a little. I don't know. I can't get my hair right. I got out of the shower and now my hair's. It's fine. It's fine. Um, what was I gonna say? No, what I was gonna say is yeah, the next big news update that we had earlier this week is that the 49ers have their training camp dates set, their report dates, right? We have the report dates set. A couple of days ago, the 49ers have announced that the training camp rookie report date is July 16th and the veterans report July 23rd. So I'm pretty much thinking that the training camp, open training camp, starts on the 24th, maybe 25th, somewhere around there. But rookies report on the July 16th, veterans report July 23rd. They usually try to get these players there before they start, do some meetings and stuff like that, get them broken in, and show them what they expect. Rookies got to be there first because there's a little bit more training what to expect for them than the veterans. They've been there, they know exactly what to expect. So, good stuff, though. But yeah, it's good to know that all the rookies are signed to a contract now, right? All the rookies have been signed to a contract for the 49ers. There's no drama, there's no holdout situation. The only person that we really need to worry about, again, is Brandon Aiyuk. Will he extend himself? If he doesn't get the extension, he's still under contract, so it's not like he's going to not be there. But will he want to hold out? Is he going to be pressing the Niners for more money during training camp? That's what we have to kind of see when everybody reports, right? During this that week between the 26th, or sorry, the 16th and the 23rd, like that week is going to be critical. I feel like that's the week where we might see the Brandon Ayuk signing. The Niners typically get these things done as training camp approaches, right before, right around at the start. I feel like if they get everything taken care of, we'll have Brandon Ayuk signed in that week. We'll see though. It is going to be interesting. Albert Breer had an interesting take on this. He says things usually get worse right at the end of like a contract situation. Like usually before things are about to happen, before the signing, before the extension, before something like actually pans out, before a decision is made, get a little murky. And I feel like that's kind of what happened this week, right? A Brandon Ayuk dramatic video. The 49ers are not on the same page. Oh my God, contract talks have stalled. It's at the lowest point it's been all season, right? All off season. The whole 49er Brandon Ayuk contract situation is kind of at the lowest point. To me, and to Brandon, or sorry, to me, using Albert Breer's um, theory, this is might be where we're at right before he signs. So it might be close to getting a deal done. So it is smoke season, John. It is smoke, and I'm glad that you finally caught me. I've been busy this offseason. I haven't really done a lot of live, so I'm glad you're here. Smoke season is definitely upon us. The whole offseason is just a bunch of smoke and lies and content creators trying to drum up attention, get your attention, drum up videos so they can make money and stuff. Hey, they got to do what they got to do. They got to put food on the table, got to put a roof over their head. So they got to make these videos. They got to make these reports, these rumors. So I get it. I understand what they're doing. Um, but we all do. We all, my man John says we fall for this shit every off season, myself included. Myself too. Sometimes I'm at work and I see a report and I'm like, oh my God. And then you're like, wait, is this true? I've gotten better at sifting out the BS from the real stuff, but there's some reporters that you're like, oh, is this real? If it's not like Schefter or Rappaport or Pelissero nowadays or, the NFL Network guys, I'm like, okay. But when it's Jim Smith of Philadelphia Press News or like Bob Sanderson from Pittsburgh Gazette, I kind of start looking at him like, I don't know. I don't know. Or Chase Senior. Shout out to Chase Senior. I love the guy, but the guy makes some interesting takes. That's all I'm gonna say. My boy's a clout king, clout chaser. That's all I gotta say. Albert messes with my head. Yeah, Albert does mess with my. He knows his stuff though. Flood says, any chance Elijah Mitchell might be cut or traded after cap? You know what, Flood? If you've been watching myself and Larry Kruger on Tuesday nights, 8:30 p.m. Pacific, I know it's a little late, but we have been going on live, and for the last I want to say 3 weeks. I have said I think Elijah Mitchell or Mason or Jordan Mason, but specifically Elijah Mitchell will get traded, right? The 49ers have an abundance of running backs. They got CMC, obviously, the big extension. They have Elijah Mitchell, right? He was such a good rookie, but he can't stay healthy. Got Jordan Mason, who's been promising. They got Isaac Garendo, who they drafted. They got Cody Schrader. They have a lot of running backs this season. I don't know, all of them can make the team. And I think if they all play good, you have an expendable position on your team. You can trade them for draft picks or maybe some player that you could utilize on your offense, or defense, whatever the case is. 49ers have done this before during preseason, where they had a bunch of linebackers and they traded one to Denver, Griffith, I believe, and they got some draft picks. So I feel like the 49ers could do it with Elijah Mitchell because of his injury risk. It's not like they're going to get a huge draft pick, but you could get a 6th or 7th pick, and for them, that could be well utilized down the line because they're good at drafting late round pick. It's because they have so much running backs. I could see them trading Elijah Mitchell. I don't think they want to cut him because I think if he gets cut, somebody will pick him up. He is a good running back. He just has had a hard time staying healthy. So Smitty has BA traded already, says Deptopia, and John says Smitty isn't waiting for anyone. That man, he runs on his own time. He thinks he's gonna trade. Like he'll sit there as soon as news drops, he'll like instigate me and C Mac and Vlad will be on the text group with them, and he's like, "Oh, Brandon Ayuk is mad. He's mad. He's upset. He's pissed at the Niners." And I'm like, "Has he told you that personally?" It's just tactics. But yeah, Brandon Ayuk news has really struck a chord with Smitty. He wants he in Smitty's book. BA's already out of there. Funny stuff. Rob says, I hope Kyle uses any other running back and lessens the load on CMC. I think we all do. I know we don't. We don't want CMC to get hurt this year. We want him to stay healthy and not get hurt. You know what I mean? We want to make sure that CMC can play deep into the playoffs. Take some of the pressure off of him. Take some of the carries off of him. But Kyle explained it earlier this offseason. It says, hey, even when CMC's out there and not getting the ball, he's going to be out there running routes because of the threat of his ability in the offense, catching passes on the check down, his ability to be there is going to cause double teams on him or take a safety out of the fray. And then sometimes, yeah, he might be the guy that's open and he might not have been the initial target, but he's just so good for this offense. But I agree with you. I hope they lessen the burden on CMC. So my man Cosmos says, why trade Mitchell? They have a lot of running backs, but Mitchell is awesome with healthy. I feel like it's a numbers thing. Like you can't keep them all, you can't play them all. I love Mitchell, but again, they drafted a running back, Isaac Garendo, and Cody Schrader looks like this all-world running back according to a lot of people. But it's not to say that they're going to trade Mitchell. I think it's just if they find themselves with a log jam of running backs and they have so many of them, you might want to get rid of one to get some draft picks or talent or something on there because here's the thing: if you draft, let's say you cut Isaac Garendo and someone picks him up, that sucks. If you were going to cut any of these players that don't make that roster, you know that there's all pretty good in that position at the running back position that you can get some value. So that's all I'm saying. It doesn't have to be Mitchell. It could be Mason. It could be Cody Schrader. It could be Isaac Garendo. But any one of those guys, if they cut them, in my opinion, I don't think that they make waivers and they bring them back to the practice squad. I feel like the 49ers cut any one of their running backs. Of course, they're not cutting CMC, but any of the other running backs, they'll get claimed like that because they're that good. Like Kyle Shanahan is a run first coach, right? The team's supposed to be a running offense. And teams know, like, oh, if this running back is on the 49ers, he has to be good. So if the 49ers cut any of their running backs in training camp, after training camp to make their 53-man roster, I think they're going to get sniped. And again, they have so many, like, it's just logical that not all of them are making this roster. So that's why I say that one of them is going to get traded. I just use Mitchell because of the injury risk and, I don't think he's guaranteed to make the roster. As much as Kyle loves him, as much as we like him, I love Elijah Mitchell. But if you have two young guys that could stay healthy and be cheaper than Elijah Mitchell, again, Schrader, undrafted, Garendo, rookie, they're both a lot cheaper than keeping Mitchell on the roster. That's why I say it. And you can get some decent value for Mitchell compared to the other guys because they're rookies. So he's the A of running backs. Proven pass protection running backs are CMC and Mitchell. And as good as Mitchell could be on pass protection, He's got to be healthy. If those other, and that's the thing, if Isaac Orendo and Crody Schrader can show that they're good enough in pass protection, then it makes a guy like Mitchell expendable, and Mason for that matter. But I don't think they're going to trade Mason. I'm a big Jordan Mason guy. I hope he gets more activity. I hope he gets more carries again because we all want CMC to last well into the playoffs, right? Me, you, your grandmother, your father, your aunt, your uncle. We all love CMC and we all want him to be able to stay healthy throughout the rest of his career with the 49ers. Just it takes some pressure off of him. So let's take a look at some more questions. Rob says, I don't know if Brandon Ayuk wants to leave the team, but it seems like Ayuk's girlfriends wants out of the Bay. Happy wife, happy life. But that bag could make you happy too. Yeah, it's hard to read her because I feel like she's kind of like causing a lot. I don't want to say it, but she's been kind of causing a lot of friction and drama. Like she was the one that went on that TikTok months ago where she's like, "Oh, we might be moving. We gotta get out of the Bay," and she's like stirring up the pot, right? And then in that video, where she's like, "They got me blogging this shit." Like she's kind of stirring the pot. I feel like you're right. I feel like Brandon Ayuk's circle is kind of stirring the pot. I don't know if Brandon Ayuk personally has the feelings that's being portrayed on social media. I kind of feel like you're right. Like I feel like he's not giving his authentic thoughts. I think it's the thoughts of everybody around him, and he's letting them kind of control his flow here. I hope that's not true. I mean, I hope he's giving us his authentic self, but kind of get the sense that it's not really his actual thoughts out there. It's all his friends, and I don't know. It's kind of a weird vibe I get. Like she's always in the center of it. She's always in there. She's always in videos. She's always talking. It is what it is. He can tell them to stop, says Jason. Don't let him off the hook. That's true. He can speak up for himself. He's a grown man. He is a grown man. He could speak up for himself. The whole situation is just weird to me. I get it. These players, they want to control their contract situation. Social media has really changed the game. And I say this every year. Social media has changed the way that people, sports athletes, conduct themselves and go about their business. And it used to be so different. Now we actually see things at like we see contract negotiation talks. We get live streams. We get players talking. We get to hear reports, things like daily. Before 10, 20 years ago, no, we didn't see all this stuff. We didn't know what was going behind the scenes. We don't know everything that's going behind the scenes, but we have a lot more insight we do nowadays than before. So we'll see. Morsi says, "How good is that rookie?" We're gonna find out. We really don't know how he is in the NFL. He looked good in college. He's had pretty good film. He wasn't a bad receiver. He was a pretty solid player. He does the things on tape that the 49ers really enjoyed. From their receivers, he can run after the catch. He has good separation, good receiving ability. He has good routes. He's a hard worker. So we'll see. On tape, he looks like a Kyle Shanahan receiver, but you're right. How good is he? We haven't seen him play in the NFL, and we'll have to see that in a matter of weeks. So, Cosmos says, "Is the BA situation worse than the Debo situation 2 years ago?" Honestly, I kind of feel like it is. I never thought the Debo situation was bad. Like he never, to me, he didn't do anything bad. But people were putting words in Debo's mouth. People were making him look bad. It was like the media was against Debo. I feel like he didn't really do anything bad or weird. He did. There were some times where it was like, okay, oh my god, like when he scrubbed his social media, like he did some things that most players are doing these days. Like he took the route of, okay, I'm gonna distance myself from the team, but he never said anything. He never said anything bad. Like I want to, you know, leave this team. He never said anything like I want to trade. Like there was reports that his agent said it, whatever. But I think it was all tactics and stuff like that. I never thought that Debo did anything bad. But this Brandon Ayuk one to me, it just I don't know. It's just weird because it feels like a lot of it's just cinematics. Like it's like theatrics. I feel like Brandon Ayuk's just doing a lot of this stuff for the camera. I don't know. That's the way I see it. So, but BA copied Debo, says Red Eye. I think he's taking a lot of his concepts and trying to utilize them. I agree with you, but I don't think Debo's was bad. I loved it. But I do say this: Debo didn't really try to train. He was hard pressed and say, "Look, I'm not going to sign. I'm not going to do anything and then always like last minute. So Debo kind of shot himself in the foot by not keeping himself in shape. Brandon Ayuk looks like he is keeping himself in shape. I think that's a big difference there. Debo said he was advising BA in the presser. I'm sure they've had some talks. I'm sure they've had their best friends. So my man Cosmo says Persall was a reach to pick up. Good slot receiver. He was a reach, but he's a good slot receiver like Puka Cup. He's going to be a good slot receiver. Like if he can live up to his potential, you're right. A lot of people have comped him to Cooper Cup because he's a white boy. A lot of people have said he's like Puka. Could be like one of those guys. He looks like he could be a really good slot player for the 49ers. Could have been a reach. A lot of people say he's a reach. We talked about it the other night. Like ESPN said he was the biggest reach of the first round that wasn't a quarterback. A lot of people said that. But I feel like because 49ers felt like he fits their system, that he wasn't going to be there. They needed a guy like this. There's going to be a wide receiver drama for the next couple of years, right? Brandon Ayuk situation. Will it get figured out? What about Debo Samuel? Like, is he going to be on the Niners next season? So either way, Ricky Pearsall could replace one of those guys down the line in the future. So, and Deb says Pearsall wasn't going to be available with our next pick. Yeah, if they really liked him, if he was that high on their board, he wasn't going to be there. So, we'll see. I'm excited for Ricky Pearsall though. A couple other things that we'll get to wrap it up. Keep it short. Talked about training camp dates. Again, there wasn't a lot of news this week, but there was some news this week. We talked about Ricky Pearsall. We got to talk about this George Kittle. Busy guy this week. He was at tight end university this week, right? With Travis Kelsey and Greg Olsen and all the other great tight ends out there. He hosts this his fourth year. He was on Bussin' with the Boys podcast, and George Kittle says that he lost around 30 pounds after undergoing core muscle surgery this offseason. It's a lot of weight, 30 pounds. I'm sure a lot of that must have been muscle weight, but 30 pounds is 30 pounds. He says, I couldn't lift. I couldn't do any upper body because of my shoulder and my rib, and I couldn't do lower body because of my core surgery, right? He had the core surgery. He goes, I didn't lift from the Super Bowl until like almost mid-March. I went on a month without doing anything. So he lost a lot of weight, a lot of time where he had to recover. Core muscle surgery is tough to deal with. It's not an easy recovery. You have a lot of limitations because if you start lifting, you can bust that surgery out and cause a lot of damage. So you have to be very safe. So he couldn't do any. He was on a restriction for a month. So he's trying to get that strength back, that power back. He's trying to get that weight back and the muscle back. But yeah, that's a significant injury. You got to give Kittle a lot of credit. He plays through so much injuries. He plays through a lot of crap every year. He busts his body on the line, puts his body on the line, and he busts it out every day. We've all heard him say it feels like a car wreck after end of each week. So, yeah, I got a lot of respect for Kittle, but that's definitely something to keep an eye on. How's he going to be this year? I'm sure he lost a little strength. I'm pretty sure he can build it back, but definitely something to keep an eye on. 30 pounds, that's a lot. And he's a big, strong, muscular guy. He does look a little bit skinnier when you've seen the videos and, the footage of him over the last couple of weeks training, mini camp and media day and stuff like that. But it's pretty big. That's pretty big, big news. I think he can gain some of that back, maybe 10 to 15 pounds back. 30 pounds is a lot. But that's what happens when you're not working out, when you're sitting around, when you're trying to rehab an injury, you get a lot of muscle atrophy. So I think he's been dealing with that. But I know he's a gamer. He's a tough ass dude, and we know he's going to be ready when the season comes back. So Kittle playing weight is 255. 30-pound less is 225. He looks thin at tight end usually. He does look thin. Red Eye. Rob says, was Latu at tight end university? Conflicting reports. I don't know. I didn't see anything official on Cameron Latu. You would hope he is there. I don't know. I don't know if can somebody confirm? So 30 pounds. That's a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot, says John. 30 pounds. 30 pounds. Yeah. John says, I hope he can gain at least 10 pounds back. At least I hope he can gain that back. We'll see how it goes. But that was one of the big stories of the week, right? George Kittle, he lost the weight. He had actually a really good press interview with Bussin' with the Boys. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. YouTube, Bussin' with the Boys. These guys are great. They're all good friends. Check it out. Good stuff, good content. George Kittle's always a good time. He's always a good listen. If you guys have something you need to do, or if you need something to listen to on your way to work, driving, or just you're chilling, go to YouTube, look up Bussin' with the Boys. George Kittle's latest episode with them is available. It's a really good listen. So I encourage you all to go check that out. He talked about a lot of stuff. He talked about Super Bowl. He talked about just his body in general, like we said, like about losing the weight. Just a lot of good stuff. So it was a really, really, really good interview, as it always is with George Kittle. Always quality sound bites from Big George Kittle. So yeah, this is a good little tidbit. I saw this yesterday. George Kittle said he will avoid $100,000 bonus if he gets hurt involving wrestling. Like if he goes on to like WWE and he wrestles, because he's done it in the past, right? He was at WrestleMania a couple years back. If he does it, he goes and he gets injured while he's wrestling, he'll get voided. So he'll lose $100,000 bonus. So if he goes into these wrestling events, he's probably not going to try to do anything until he retires, because that's if he doesn't want to take the chance of losing that money. So interesting. I love Kittle. He's a good dude. Um, I'm pretty sure after he retires and he hangs it up, that man is going to go to WWE. He's going to go to WWE. So a couple last things I want to put on the screen. We'll talk about them. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick. I shared these earlier uh, during the week. I'm going to pull them up. We'll talk about it real quick. We'll bounce through these, and we'll see your thoughts on them. So I'm going to put up a couple videos. Yeah, he's a Niner first. Exactly. Let's see if any of these can upload. I haven't tried uploading these onto my channel yet, so on here for the chat. So I don't know if they will. Yeah, I got one of them to load, and the other one's trying to load. Then the third one was not an MP4 format, so can't load that one. But we were desperately trying to load this last file. Let me see. It's slowly loading. There we go. Okay. I'll play this one. This was Brock Purdy. He's got a lot of ads now. This guy's got a lot of sponsors. Recover is the big energy drink that he sponsors. He sat down. There's a lot of content from that. But he sat down and he spoke about his off season. I want to play this for you. You guys let me know what you think.
Okay, what does your off season consist of from a training standpoint? I know that's kind of like an open-ended question, but what do you focus on?
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's probably the biggest time just for stretching and trying to, do better with my mobility and my speed training. I can lift the weights a little bit more and stuff, but I'd say for sure speed and mobility more than anything.
Okay, you just finished playing your first Super Bowl in your second season.
Yep.
How long did it take you to touch a football after the game? Did we take a little time? Did we take a break, or were we right back at it?
I took a week.
A week?
Yeah, went back home for my buddy's wedding in Arizona, and then I got back to California, and I have footballs in my room, so I was already just envisioning, all right, when am I going to get back after it, So obviously it didn't end how we wanted it to, but for us moving forward, that it gives us a taste in our mouth, like, all right, we were right there and we got to finish, and so for me it gives me some fuel to the fire for training. So
no days off with you?
No, you can't, not in this league.
Except to get married.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I got married. That was a day off. Yeah, no, thank you. It was awesome. Got to marry my best friend, and we get to do life together. So.
Well, you guys are adorable.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
No days off except for his marriage. So that's Brock Purdy talking about his off season. I can't wait, man, until Brock Purdy. We got a whole new Brock Purdy this season. He didn't have to rehab this off season. He was taking care of business, like he said. Took a week off, went right to the grind, and he's been putting in work. You could tell he looks really stronger this year. He looks like he put on a lot of muscle, put some weight on, good weight on. So we saw Kittle lose 30 pounds. I don't know if Brock put on 30 pounds, but he put on some muscle weight. So definitely good to see Brock. He's just happy this season, this offseason. You could tell there's a lot of smiles by Brock. I mean, he got married, so that's a good thing. But he looks like he's in a good place mentally, and I'm excited to see big Brock Purdy coming off a off season with no rehab. He's gonna be rocking and rolling, man. So good stuff. Good to see. The last thing we'll watch. He had another ad. He had another ad with John Deere. This guy's he's gonna become an actor one day. I love Brock Purdy. Look at this guy. Look at this
Brock
guy.
Purdy drafts our new Chief Tractor Officer.
Guys, he's calling.
Hey, it's Brock Purdy. We've been impressed with your skills and dedication. On behalf of John Deere, I'm thrilled to offer you the position of Chief Tractor Officer.
Thanks so much for the call, Brock. I won't let John Deere down.
Now pack your bags, it's training season. You have a tough coach who knows his stuff. I can't wait for you to meet him. His name is Jackson.
It's official. Let's get this started.
Oh man, Brock Purdy. What an actor, what a guy. We gotta love him. He's got a lot of like ads. The corn, the John Deere, the drink recover, Toyota. Red Eye says Purdy's not poor anymore. He was averaging $2 million last 2 years as base salary, sponsorship money on top. He's definitely making money because of those sponsors. So shout out to Big Brock Purdy, man. This guy's doing it right. And eventually he's going to get a massive contract, and I can't wait. So love Brock Purdy, man. Good stuff. Good to see him shining and thriving. Again, the big news of the day, Ricky Pearsall signs his 4-year rookie contract, and it is a $12.5 million fully guaranteed contract. So, yeah, there we go. Big news for the day. Happy to know all our rookies are under contract. Training camp up next in a month. You guys have a good rest of your day. I love you. Bang, bang. Nana gang. Here we go.